Come along with me while I upgrade my garden. This is the current state of my garden. Right now I have cucumber, tomatoes, basil in the background. My main focus is to make a trellis for this jungle of cucumber. It's going wild, it's not climbing up, and it's taking over plants. So I want to make sure I build something to accommodate for that. So I have these two boards that I need to cut down. I actually bought the wrong size, but it's been sitting in the wood, so I can't return it, and I'm just gonna chop it off. So I'm gonna take off a foot from each one so I can make it 6 feet. Try to measure once and cut twice. Is that how it goes? This was just a cool project for me to do. I've been working on the garden this year, and so far I've spent probably close to 40 hours and maybe 100 some bucks on material and dirt and compost and stuff like that. And I've walked away with about $1 worth of cucumbers. So it's not for the week, but honestly, it's been really nice for my daughter and I to have a little activity. She loves to go outside and just be outside, but having an activity like the garden has been really useful. Here I'm using the scissors to start snipping some of the dead stuff away and make sure I have a clear view of like what I'm trying to accomplish. So cleaned up most of it, and I'm gonna start hooking everything up. I'm going to use the 1 foot board that I cut off from the 2x4 as like a quick measurement so I can roughly keep it even on each side. And I'm just using a couple screws to make sure it's attached to the outside of the garden.
So it's not the lens, it's this fucking board that is super wonked out. My hope is that I can attach it and support it with a couple braces, and maybe that will keep it in place. This one's definitely better. It's on me, I left them.
So here is the top piece. I need to cut it down a little bit. All right, so I'm realizing now that I should probably have another pair of hands or some clamps or something. I'm like, oh, I can try to do this. I couldn't, so I needed to think quickly on the spot. So I ended up using the cut off 2x4s that I had to make a sort of like a little ledge. So that way when I'm screwing on one side, it can rest on the shorter piece. I think I was pretty proud of myself here, so that was a good execution. So I do it on this side, and then I make sure that I follow the same on the other side, as you see there. And then I'm gonna push in a little bit. In the end, it does end up being a little bit crooked, and I think it's just because the board I used on the right side, as you're looking at it, is a little bit higher. So that's why the top bar is not level. Here I am going through and trying to unravel it from the metal trellis that I was using. So it ended up just falling off. I think it was too strong for the vines, or the brain was too strong for the vines to stay attached, so we ended up just
Bro, I'm about to just cut this thing. All right, it's out. So we'll see how well this works. I'm just gonna drop a couple lines and see how it does. So
what I did was I kind of just eyeballed it at this point. I was using some twine and some staple gun. So my thought was to staple it on the sides, staple it on the top, and that should be enough to keep everything secure. I ran 3 strings on each side, and then I ended up doing some horizontal supports, so that way it could just give a little bit of like a grid, and that'll help the vines and help strengthen it up a little bit. Overall, been pleased with this. To be very frank, my garden has not produced much vegetables or fruit or anything like that, but I think it's been a fun experience for my family and I to have something to do in the mornings and in the evenings. All right, so as you see here, I'm trying to make sense of this tangled web. It's pretty bad, but Spent a little bit of time to make sure that it can spread out. I think there was 5 separate vines coming out of the plant, so I just wanted to spread those out. So here I'm making my makeshift grid. It actually is still holding up pretty well.
So I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get to today. I'm going to let that sort out by itself. I might come back and spend a little bit more time in the afternoon. I don't want to mess with it too much before the sun comes out because I know they get a little bit sensitive. So I will update as I go. Alright, so just watching this back, I noticed a bunch of stuff that I probably should have done a little bit better, should have measured correctly on how I want everything to line up. But a bunch of lessons here. You know, this is the first year I'm doing a garden. That's why I only started with 1 raised bed. I started at the end, and I'm gonna start adding slowly as I go. The goal will probably be to have 3 or 4, and then as I kind of like get better at gardening, it'll help with getting some actual vegetables and fruits out. Right now it's just cucumbers and peppers. It hasn't been a very fruitful season, even though it has been raining quite a bit. I think that I need to either use some different like compost or different, I have like bugs or something like that. I for sure have ants. I know the basil that I have is attracting a lot of ants, so I might take that out and probably put some other companion plants in there. If you have any constructive criticism on how I can improve my garden, let me know. I'm in zone 9, and I'm just kind of, you know, testing it out as I go. My daughter and I have a lot of fun experimenting in the garden, and it's been a nice little distraction for us and a little bit of a bonding. She loves to mess around in the dirt, and it's just fun to see that she has some interest in what we're doing. It's not so much about what I'm able to get out of it, like the cucumbers or the peppers or even the tomatoes. It's just more about the memories. So I'm really happy that I decided to do that this year, and it is a goal that I want to keep it going. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. Peace.